All right, today we're jumping into what is, hands down, one of the most personal and emotionally raw letters in the entire New Testament. We're talking about Paul's second letter to the church in Corinth. And let me tell you, this is so much more than theology. It's the gripping story of a mentor desperately trying to piece a broken relationship back together. And really, the whole thing hinges on this one question. What does real strength in a leader actually look like? Is it being tough, unshakable, always having the right answer? Or is it maybe something else entirely? Well, Paul is about to take that whole idea and flip it completely on its head.
Okay, so to get what's going on here, we have to travel back in time a bit, because this isn't some calm academic essay written from a library. No way. This is a message written under intense pressure, where every single word matters. The stakes could not be higher.
So, picture Corinth. This isn't a sleepy little town. It's a major Roman port city. Think of it like the chaotic, bustling Las Vegas or New York of its day. It's a crossroads for trade, packed with people from all over the world. And the church there? They weren't meeting in some giant cathedral. They gathered in small, tight-knit groups inside people's homes, which made everything, especially Paul's relationship with them, incredibly personal.
But here's the deal. Things are not good. The connection Paul has with this church he started is basically hanging by a thread. They're questioning everything, his authority, his character, even whether he really cares about them. So this letter is his passionate, all-out attempt to fix this. So how does he start? You might expect him to come out swinging, defending himself, right? But he doesn't. He starts with something totally unexpected, something he learned through his own suffering. Let's call it the comfort cycle. Right out of the gate, he introduces this huge idea. And notice the flow here. God comforts us when we're going through a hard time, sure. But it's not just so we can feel better. It's for a reason, so we can turn around and give that exact same comfort to someone else who's struggling. You can break his logic down into this really beautiful cycle. First, we go through something tough. Second, God meets us there with comfort. And third, that whole experience now equips us to help others. It means our pain isn't just wasted. It gets repurposed. It becomes this incredible tool of empathy that we can share. And for Paul, this is not just some nice-sounding theory. He immediately makes it real by sharing one of the absolute lowest points of his life. He's about to get brutally honest. He starts talking about this trouble he faced in the province of Asia. He's a little vague on the exact details, but he is crystal clear about the emotional impact. Whatever this was, it completely and utterly broke him. I mean, just listen to that. Burdened beyond measure, above strength, he despaired even of life. This is the founder of their church, their mentor, admitting that he hit rock bottom and completely gave up hope. He thought it was over. That is radical, stunning vulnerability. And in that despair, he found the whole point of the experience. He says it happened for one reason, so that he would stop relying on himself and learn to rely only on the God who raises the dead. It was only when his own strength completely failed that he was forced to find a hope that was way more powerful. Now, all of this talk about suffering and weakness wasn't a detour. Paul was laying the groundwork because now he's ready to tackle the main accusation the Corinthians have against him, an accusation where his very integrity is on trial. So here's the drama. Paul had told them he was going to visit, and then he changed his plans. And to the Corinthians, this looked bad. It looked like he was being flaky, unreliable. They basically accused him of being a yes and no guy, someone whose word you just can't trust. So you have these two clashing perspectives. The Corinthians are looking at his schedule and saying, this guy is all talk. But Paul, he takes the whole argument to a completely different level. He says his integrity isn't about human plans. It's rooted in God, whose promises in Jesus are always, always a firm yes. He's essentially saying, you're questioning my reliability based on my travel plans? Let's talk about real reliability. My yes isn't based on my whims, it's grounded in God's unshakable yes to all of us. It is just a masterful way to reframe the whole debate. But he's not done yet. After making that powerful theological point, Paul peels back another layer and revealed the real, personal, emotional reason he changed his plans. And honestly, it changes everything. He says, I call God as witness, which is the strongest possible way of saying, I swear this is true, that the real reason he didn't come was to spare you. To spare them What could that possibly mean? It meant that the next time he visited, it wasn't going to be pleasant. It was going to be a heavy, difficult, painful confrontation, and he knew that. So he held off, not because he was being weak or wishy-washy, but because he was being merciful. He was acting like a loving father trying to protect his kids from a hard but necessary conversation. This reveal that his motive was actually mercy is the absolute heart of his argument. It completely reframes what kind of leader he is, and it opens the door for what the rest of the letter is really about: reconciliation and forgiveness. And he wraps up the chapter with this incredible definition of what leadership should be. He's not their boss. He's not there to have dominion over their faith. Instead, he says, "We are fellow workers for your joy." Think about that. Even in the middle of all this conflict, his ultimate goal is their happiness.
So in the end, we're left with this powerful new picture of leadership. True strength isn't about being perfect or never changing your mind. It's about vulnerability. It's about an integrity that's rooted in God's faithfulness. And it's about a kind of mercy that's willing to be misunderstood if it's for the good of others. Which really leaves us with one last question to chew on. If mercy is the key to even starting a hard conversation, what does that teach us about the path to real, lasting forgiveness?